Hi there, this is Art and Such with part 2 of my Rainbow Loom tutorial for Steve from American Dad. And in part 1 we got our body ready, so we're going to come right back to the loom in a second. I have to apologize, I neglected to mention in terms of our materials, I'm using 2 large-sized pony beads. And you can use white bands if you don't have those available, or a different kind of bead. I found these kind of worked the nicest for me. So before we get to our eyes, let's get our hair in our head. And we're going to start with 2 hair-colored brown bands from the top center to the top right, and 2 from the top center to the top left. Before we proceed, you have a choice. You can leave it like so and continue with a very straight hair. If you want these hair pieces, as I have, I will show you how to make those now. We take a single brown and wrap it 3 times onto the hook and pull it onto a doubled over brown. And we're going to do this twice for either side. So let's make one more for the first side and I'll show you how to attach it. Single wrap 3 times, pulled onto a doubled over single. We are going to pull all of these loops off the hook and onto the bands on either side. You can do it one of 2 ways, I'll show you both. You can take your bands right off the hook, put them on the end and pull it over. This is probably your easiest method. And then replace on your top pegs. And let's make 2 more sets for the other side, and I'll show you a very slightly different way to attach. Single wrap 3 times, pulled over a doubled over single. And one more time. Single wrap 3 times. Stretching out all my bands here makes me a little sad. Over a doubled over single. Now the other way, which you probably don't need in this case, but you might want for future use. You leave part of your band on the hook, on the pegs, and pull it over where it sits, and this way you only have to reattach one piece. You would probably do best just to take the pieces off, but either way is fine. We're going to put 2 more brown bands from the top peg to the second peg on the right, and likewise on the left side. And then we're switching to skin tone. 3 sets of double skin tone down the center. Oh, if you want an extra lump right in the middle, his hair kind of curls out, but if you do want an extra one, you can always add another doubled over, another wrapped on a doubled over right directly onto that top center peg. One set of double skin tone down either side. And we're going to take 2 bands from the 3rd sides to the 4th center. I'm not going to make a chin for this because when I tried it, the smallest one I could find looked way too bulbous, or the smallest one I could make looked way too bulbous. But you can certainly experiment with that if that's something you'd like. We're going to do triangular holding bands, 3rd to the 3rd, raised over the 3rd, 2nd to the 2nd, raised over the 2nd. We have our eyes to do and our body to attach upside down. Now for the eyes, we are going to attach them one by one. I have a bead with a larger hole so it can go right in the hook. If your bead has a small hole, you can use dental floss or a thin wire to thread it onto a single skin tone band. This is coming from, I believe it's our 3rd in the center to the 1st on the side. And then we're going to pull down, come inside, pull down, so you're on also covering the 3rd peg on the bottom. And we're going in the hole on the top and stretching this over the 2nd center. So it looks like this. The top part, the part above the bead, is going over the top right and the second center. The bottom loop is going over the third center and the third right. It looks a little confusing, but bear with me. I'll hold it up one more time. Okay, we're gonna do one more for the other side. If you have white bands that you're using, you can even stretch those straight across and just wrap a single or two bands together more tightly. So this one again is coming from the top on the side on the left to the third center. You're going to reach into that bottom section, pull down over the third side, go into the part above the bead top section, pull over the center second. So it looks really crazy. It's not so bad, but there you have it. We're going to take our body, and we want the part where the collar is and the orange, this is the front, to be facing downwards. As I said, this seems to work better when it's upside down for some reason, or backwards at any rate. And we're going to put this onto your fourth peg down in the center. I've just stretched the rest of it out to the peg below so I can see underneath. And we're going to loop, go under your neck piece, get your top two bands. And these should be going to the right. The next two bands on top, and they will go to the left. And then we're going to loop up the rest of the center. So there are a lot of bands. Just push everything back and get your bottom two, go forward. Push back, get your bottom two, pull forward. You can turn your loom to the side if it helps you to see as well. We'll go back on the side. You can pick a side, get your bottom two, loop it up, bottom two, loop it up. Bottom two should be the only ones you see. Loop them to the center. Push it down a little bit and return to your other side to finish looping here. Okay, once you have this, you can take one or two brown bands, depending how tight or how much hair you want at the very top. You're going to come through the bands on your top peg. Make sure you get through all of them. There is a lot there. Put your brown band on the end and pull it through to the top. Put the other end on and bring your bottom one over the top to create a slip knot. And very carefully release some tension, loosen some of these up. We're going to take this off of the loom. So you see, this is the back side. This is what we would have on the front, which we don't want. We're turning it this way so that our hair is all brown. You can pop your eyes through a little bit, give everything a little adjustment. And this brown band can be hidden in the back. I like to pull it through so that I have my hook in the front here. I'm going to grab it from in front and pull it back through. And then we'll have a little bit of extra hair there. It'll look a little lumpier. This is also the harder way, so if you want simple, just throw it on a C-clip at the back and you're all done. Alright, let's put this on a C-clip. Now, as I said, I will not be showing you how to make glasses today because that's kind of dependent on the materials you have. Whether you do have, want to use a twist tie or a wire, or as I said, you can draw it on with a Sharpie. We're going to make the eyes with a Sharpie. I'm just going to do them in the middle. And you have the option of making little eyelids or not. I'm just going to make a little circle this time, right in the center. Maybe we'll make a big circle. Okay, if you want to make or add a chin, you can do that. If you want to draw on your glasses, if you want to draw on or add on an eyebrow, you can bring a band through the back, but it's going to be a little tricky to find the space for it without it blending with the hair. At any rate, there is something you can work with. That is our American Dad Steve. I have Klaus, Francine, and Roger out, and I'm hoping to get Haley and Stan going really soon. And I thank you for watching. Bye.